on all cylinders.
Well, that's not happening, Dave. I do like the grandfather beer reference, though. That was pretty cool. Look, they can't protect the Giants. How are they going to keep the Steelers defenders away from Daniel Jones? They're starting, Dave, 2 rookie offensive tackles, Andrew Thomas and a third-round pick, Matthew Pert at right tackle, against Steelers outside linebackers T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree, who combined for, get this, 26 sacks last year. They're not going to be able to move the ball in this game, that Giants offense, and that is why the Steelers are going to cover the 3.5.
And there he is. Vacation mode is over. Pony, no beard. This is all business. I dig it. And Giants fans, you're going to dig this. Here's how you cash in. Put down $50 on New York plus 3.5. They're getting points at home. If they cover, you collect almost $98 on your wager. And here's how to find this bet and all the week 1 lines on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's easy. Click on football, then 2020 season. You'll see every single matchup as we kick off the season. And FanDuel is offering odds boosts on the app that give you more bang for your buck. Giants fans, check this out. One of those special bets is for the week 1 matchup we just talked about. You're going to find it in the odds boost section of the app. Check it out. You can get plus 420 for a bet on the Giants winning against the Steelers and more than 48 total points scored in the game. That's plus 420, guys. So if you place a $50 bet on that special odds boost, you're going to collect $210. Check it out. Take advantage of other odds boosts on the FanDuel Sportsbook offered right now as well. Let's keep this show trucking here. While the Giants hold down the Meadowlands, the Jets kick off their season on the road at Buffalo. New York getting 6.5 points in this matchup. Dave, give me your pick.
Well, you know, the Meadowlands is my home away from home, so I've learned to make nice with Giants and Jets fans, so I'm going to take the Jets, not just because I like the people there at the Meadowlands and those 2 teams, but I just think Buffalo is a little bit of a fraud with their winning record last year. They're beating teams like Washington, Cincinnati, the Dolphins. I mean, yeah, they did beat the Jets as well, but the Jets held them pretty close to not scoring many points last year. Actually didn't score a point on the Jets, did the Bills in the first half in either game last year, Pony. So I think the Jets can match up defensively and shut down the Bills and keep this one close.
Dave, I think I can come up with another word that begins with a letter F to describe the Jets, but this is a family show, so I'm not going to do that. I mean, come on. This Jets team, they're the walking wounded at wide receiver. Rashad Perryman's probably not going to play. Denzel Mims, the rookie wide receiver from Baylor, has a hamstring injury. Who is Sam Darnold going to throw the ball to? This Bills defense was number 2 in the league last year in scoring defense. They bring that great secondary back, anchored by Tre'Davious White. It's deja vu, the same thing I said about the Giants. I don't see how the Jets move the ball against this Bills offense in Orchard Park. Buffalo will win this game by double digits.
All right, so if you fade Pony here, Jets fans, your team is getting 6.5 points on the road. A winning $50 bet on that line gets you more than $95. And Jets fans, you want more money just for making a bet on your team? Done and done. One Jets odds boost coming in hot right now. Weaver, making you work for your money this morning. Give us the odds for this one and why you think it could hit.
Yeah, don't be like Pony and just take every single favorite. Sometimes you have to do crazy things and go for some value, and that's the case here. If you think that the Jets are going to make the playoff, the odds previously were plus 430. Now with that odds boost, up to plus 480. Let's face it, this is a weak division. The Patriots are going to be down this year without Tom Brady. The Dolphins aren't very good, and I already said the Bills are a little bit overrated. So it leaves there a little bit of a slim hope for the Jets to perhaps win this division if they can get off to a quick start. Sam Darnold needs to have a breakout year, and of course, Le'Veon Bell is going to need to kind of rejuvenate some of that Pro Bowl form from years past. But if that happens, look out. The Jets plus 480, a very nice odds boost for them to make the playoffs.
No doubt about it. Great stuff, Dave. Hey, guys, hit up the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Do it right now. Take advantage of this special odds boost. Again, hitting a winning $50 bet on this odds boost for you Jets fans. You collect $290. And, hey, let's bring in the guy that you're taking all of that money from, the odds maker himself. John Sheeran sets the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. And, Sheeran, we've talked about the Giants and the Jets, but there are 30 more teams that you can bet along with a bunch of different player prop bets as well. So give us a look here at your book. And what are some overall betting trends you're seeing as we get closer to week 1 of the season?
Lisa, we spoke about it last week. Still absolutely no money for the New York Giants in week 1. About a ratio of 10-1 in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That line, we spoke about it last week, 3.5, still 3.5. I'm really surprised that A, I haven't seen any money for the Giants, and B, that this line hasn't moved. I got to get onto the guys. There's no way this line will last until kickoff. And for me, that's probably one of the strangest ones. The other one is the Cleveland Browns. The regular season wins, Lisa, is over 8.5. All of the money's coming from the over. I don't know how you trust that Browns team after the debacle that was last year. I know we've got a change in coach, a favourable matchup in terms of strength of schedule this year versus last year as well. Probably the main drivers, those two. But the weight of money I'm seeing for Cleveland Browns, expect them to have a good year. Pity it's just 12 months late for Weaver.
Always nice to get a peek behind the curtain. Thanks for the insight, Sharon. We'll see you in just a bit. One popular team bet on the board is regular season win total. It's a simple over or under bet, so it's really easy for anyone to make. So let's get the right take now with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright, formerly with the NFL Network, and now the new face of Marquee Sports Network. Cole joining us here from Chicago. The FanDuel Sportsbook, Cole, has the Giants' regular season win total at 6. Do you think the G-men go over or under that total?
Well, Lisa, I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll the dice on the Giants. And, I want to go with the over on that one because I see Daniel Jones and his new head coach, Joe Judge, taking the next step for that one-storied franchise. Now, last week, if you may recall, I said that this team would be a playoff squad and they could manage a winning record through their bye week, and that bye week comes in week 11. I called it the shredder. Now, this isn't 2006, so 8-8. It's not going to cut it to make the playoffs for the G-men, but I do think this team can go 9-7, and with Jason Garrett at offensive coordinator, he and Daniel Jones, I think they're going to remind Big Blue fans of Jason Garrett and Tony Romo once upon a time. Now, before Giants fans want to punch me in the mouth, they did win the division twice back in 07 and 09 with Garrett as OC. So call me crazy, but I think 9 wins is where this G-men team is going to fall. I like them. I don't know why, but I do.
All right, I'm writing this down here in the preseason. 9-7 for you Giants fans from our Cole Wright. Cole, thanks. I think Giants fans think your team can win more than 6 games. Are you going to tail Cole there? Place a winning $50 bet. You collect more than $93. All right, guys, let's put some math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros, joining us from Dallas. Ed, you come to the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You found a couple lines that you really like, so let's expose them right now. Where do the numbers take us today, Ed?
Well, Lisa, let's start with a total between Miami and New England. New England's quarterback situation may be getting a lot of attention in this matchup, but I want to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is a dangerous quarterback to bet on, in large part because of his volatility. Per Next Gen Stats, Fitzpatrick has the 4th highest aggressive throw percentage at 20.9% from a year ago, meaning that nearest defender was within a yard of the target. He's been that way throughout his career. Also last year, Fitzpatrick finished 7th in intended air yards per pass attempt at 8.9. If the passing game isn't clicking, though, well, that aggressiveness down the field could lead to a lot of interceptions, especially against a good New England secondary. As for Cam Newton, he's now at the helm in New England. I expect a conservative game plan for him. Not too many points, not too many drives. I'm taking the under 43.
I'm going to tail this pick, Ed, and the reason why I like what you're saying is the Patriots' offense, to me, is a complete mystery. They released Mohamed Sanu. I thought he was going to be one of their top 2, top 3 receivers. I have no idea who is going to be the skill position players that Bill Belichick is asking Cam Newton to give the ball to in week 1.
I think it's just going to be methodical. Whatever they have, they have. As far as another bet that I think has a lot of good value, I'm looking at Tom Brady's new team, the Bucs, getting 3.5 against the Saints. What should we expect from this Tampa Bay offense with Brady instead of Jameis Winston? Well, last year, Winston ranked 2nd in football in average intended air yards at 10.5. Leads to a lot of deep completions, but also leads to a lot of picks. Winston was 3rd in bad throw percentage at 20.6. And for Tom Brady, with, safe to say, a less than stellar receiving core, he was 28th in average intended air yards at 7.6. And yet, his bad throw percentage was still high, 4th worst and right at the same mark at 20.6%. I think this Tampa Bay offense is going to be worse under Tom Brady, at least in the early going. I think the Saints cover this one easily.
I'm going to fade you on this one, Ed, because the Saints usually struggle in week number 1 defensively. They've been giving up a ton of points in week 1. Sean Payton's squad needs some time to figure things out. They have not covered in 6 consecutive seasons to week number 1, so I'm going to go with the Bucs.
Yep, Leonard Fournette joining that offense as well. Do you guys think the Bucs can cover the 3.5 they're getting? Bet $50 on Tom and all of his new teammates, and you're going to get almost $98 on that winning bet. All right, now it's time to turn things up with our More Ways Wildest Wagers of the Week. This is when our guys really can dig into their bag of tricks and get nuts. Dave, I'm going to get to you first. What's your wildest wager of the week?
Well, you have to really scour the FanDuel Sportsbook website to figure out some crazy ones. So you can pick who wins the Super Bowl, and you can also go to the very bottom, and it says name the finalists. In horse racing terms, this would be called my ice cold exacta. The Chiefs and the Falcons, if they match up, if those are the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, I am getting 80-1 odds. That's pretty wild.
Dave, you've got this weird fixation with Atlanta that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. You love that team. Not really sure why. But anyways, okay. I am taking the absolute last choice to win Coach of the Year, and that is Doug Marrone, because one thing that I love in life and sports is when you undersell and overdeliver. And that is the Jaguars situation going into 2020. Everybody thinks this team is tanking. Marrone comes from the college ranks. He's got a roster full of young players to coach up. And to me, one of the biggest X factors in the NFL this season will be Gardner Minshew from year 1 to year 2. If he makes a big improvement, and that's where the big improvement happens from quarterbacks year 1 to year 2, maybe Jacksonville surprises people, and that puts Marrone in the running for Coach of the Year.
Okay, 51 odds. I like the 80-1 odds there, Dave. I like you taking a risk there on Atlanta. Those are pretty wild bets, guys, but you know I dig it. Are you guys at home with our guys here on their long shots? Check out those bets and so much more on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. All right, we got to turn it back over to our friend in Chicago. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright. Cole, we talked to Giants win total, so let's give the Jets now some love. Gangrene's line at the FanDuel Sportsbook is 6.5. You going over or under that total?
Well, Lisa, I'll tell you, I can't really get on the bus with this Jets team. I'm sorry about that, Jets fans, but even though you were able to manage 7 wins last season, they did that based on defense and no Jamal Adams. That means that this team is going to be a shell of their former self on that side of the ball. And with that being the tastemaker, that's going to be a problem because the offense, they can't be any worse than they were last season. They were 32nd overall, and there were just so many holes in their game. And I don't see this Jets team snagging that first win of the season until Week 10 at Miami. So to summarize, no Jamal Adams combined with the lack of chemistry with Adam Gase and his quarterback Sam Darnold. So I think that may lead to a 5-11 record, and that's if the Jets are lucky at best, Lisa.
Woo! They're going to have it rough in the early goings here, Cole. Thank you. And Jets fans, do you think your team can win more than 6.5 games? It's okay to bet with your heart as well. Place a winning $50 bet, and you collect $105 on that wager. All right, guys, let's turn it up here. It's easy, legal, live, and tons of fun to bet and play with us. Do you not have a FanDuel Sportsbook account yet? What are you waiting for? If you sign up now, FanDuel is sweetening the pot. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Yep, just download the app, sign up for a new account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. It's MOREWAYS1000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel is going to refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So let's get this party heated up here. Dave, Pony, and Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. We're going to do it right now. We're going to make our viewers some money, and we're going to do it right this second. Give me a player prop bet that you're hammering that will lead to a big payout. Dave, coming to you first.
Yeah, I'm going to look at a season-long total here involving Julio Jones, the receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. Total receiving yards 1,349.5 yards. I'm going to think that he's going to go under. He's going to be a big part of the Falcons' success this year, but I think Calvin Ridley has a breakout year. He only played 10 games last year, did Ridley, and still had almost 900 yards. Julio played 15 games, and for the first time in 5 years, he dipped below 1,400. I think there's a shift here in the guard with Ridley maybe getting the lion's share of the receptions from Matt Ryan. So I'm going to go under on Jones, $1,000, and I would win $892. Thank you.
Lisa, I got a fun one with a big payday. Tom Brady throwing his first touchdown pass to, of all players, Justin Watson. Now, who is this guy? He's Tampa's slot receiver. And we know Tom Brady's a big believer in working the slot, the inside of the field, but also taking what the defense gives him. And with so much attention on guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, I think there's a shot on this one. Risk-free, $1,000 to collect, get this, 51 grand on Justin Watson to catch Tom Brady's first touchdown pass.
Give me a second while I pick up my jaw from the floor, Pony. By the way, you and I are having a mind meld here because we both like the Detroit Lions to do well this year. And here's a season-long prop bet for you. Matt Stafford, way over 49.5 passing yards. The NFC North will be the most competitive division in all of football. Every quarterback will be asked to pass more. And last year, Stafford finished 8th in EPA CPOE composite. So my $1,000 risk-free bet would net me a grand total of more than $1,892.
A lot of people high on Matt Stafford, no doubt, especially for fantasy as well, a top value there. We'll get to more fantasy later in the show. Right now, you guys can sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account with the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. You can place those bets right this second from your phone. It's easy, it's legal, and it's live. Take your winnings if you hit. Get your money back if you don't. It is that easy. Great stuff by our guys there. And John Sheeran, want to get you back in here. They're placing those bets risk-free. And there's a bet that's the hottest one at the sportsbook right now. The one line that everybody is betting on. Which one is it, John?
We spoke about it last week, Lisa. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's even gathering more pace. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl, Lisa. 15-1. Obviously, the news in the last couple of days of Leonard Fournette now going to help Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Everything about Tampa Bay appeals to the public bettors this year. We have liability heading for $2 million already. Expect that to ramp up in the next week pretty heavily. A strong start for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year is going to give us an awful lot of sleepless nights on this side of the counter, Lisa, for sure.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, Gronk, and now you add Leonard Fournette to the mix. It'll be interesting and fun, definitely, to watch that Tampa Bay Bucs offense come together. Guys, we're here at the Meadowlands where there are tons of Giants and Jets bets available right now, but you can also wager on your favorite team right from your phone. The FanDuel Sportsbook app has hundreds of bets waiting for you, and they're waiting right now. So let's take a closer look at which one of those lines gives bettors the best value, guys. Getting our betting experts back in here to give us their best Giants or Jets wagers on the board right now. And Dave, you're getting us started. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with the player prop here. Saquon Barkley, over 1,749.5 receiving and rushing yards combined. As a rookie, he went for over 2,000 yards. And then last year, he missed 3 games, and he was involved in that Eli Manning, Daniel Jones circus. Look, all systems are go this year. I love the Giants offense, and I love Barkley to go over the 1,749.5.
Yeah, my pick is going to be Giants' first win of the season, Lisa. I'm going to circle week 3 against San Francisco at 7-1. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I'm just not a big believer in the 49ers. I think there's a Super Bowl hangover. We've seen it for years with teams who lose the Super Bowl, have a very hard time recouping the next year. There was trepidation in Jimmy Garoppolo. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Giants to actually pull the upset.
I guess it's my turn to say something negative about the Jets. Le'Veon Bell under 6.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Last year, Bell finished 5th on the team in weighted opportunity as a receiver. And I still think that's too high given Sam Darnold missed some time when he contracted mono. Next Gen Stats had Bell as the second least efficient runner in the NFL. I just don't see the opportunities for house calls for him.
That's the good stuff right there. Thanks, guys. Check out those bets and, of course, all the other Giants and Jets wagers available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. NFL kickoff just days away, but it's never too early to look ahead to the Super Bowl. Place your bet now to take advantage of the Road to 55 promotion with us. If you make a wager of $50 or more on any team to win the Super Bowl, you'll get a $5 bonus for each win that team gets, meaning you could earn up to $50 in site credit if you take advantage right now. This Road to 55 offer is good through September 10th, opening kickoff, so make sure you place your bet on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. The Road to 55 promotion. One of the teams hoping to make the Super Bowl is the New England Patriots, of course, even with a new quarterback. Cam Newton is fighting for the starting job, but played only 2 games last year, had surgery on his left foot. We know he's also had shoulder surgery as well, twice. So what can we expect from Cam in New England? Pro Football Doc David Chow tells us how those injuries could impact Cam Newton this season.
Well, I can understand the concern over Cam Newton. He's your starting quarterback, and he hasn't finished the last 2 seasons with injuries, with a total of 3 surgeries. 2 on his throwing shoulder, and then last December's foot injury that required surgery. I think the throwing shoulder is behind him. Is he going to play till he's 43 like Tom Brady? Probably not, but he should be healthy for this season. And as far as his foot is concerned, I think it was a mild Lisfranc injury, which is why surgery got put off until December, which is why I think he'll be ready for September, week 1 for the Patriots. And I look for Bill Belichick to use him very creatively in several different ways.
Thank you, Doc. Now let's take a couple minutes to talk about the Super Bowl of horse racing. The Kentucky Derby runs on Saturday, and the intensity is growing for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Dave, horses are your wheelhouse. Got to get you in here. Give us your pick and let our viewers know about the risk-free bet available right now.
Well, the Kentucky Derby in September, yeah, it's been that kind of a year. But it's coming up on Saturday. You can catch that race on NBC, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And I'm going to go with a horse named King Guillermo. Do you remember Victor Martinez, the 5-time Major League Baseball All-Star? He owns this horse. It's a great storyline. And the horse won the Tampa Bay Derby. It's going to be a long shot, but you can make a risk-free bet by downloading the TVG app. Up to $200. $200 on King Guillermo. He's 20-1 in the morning line. Would net you about $4,000 if he wins the Run for the Rose. A lot of horses are going to be betting a horse named Tiz the Law. He'll be the big favorite, Lisa, but I'm going to go with an outsider, King Guillermo.
All right, thank you, Dave. And you can follow Dave on Twitter at Ice Cold Exacta. That's the good stuff from Dave right there. Thank you, man. If you want to tail Dave or, hey, go rogue and fade our expert, you can do it right now. Download the TVG app. Sign up for an account. Place your risk-free $200 bet today. All right, guys, let's move on this show, and time to fill you in on a new and free season-long fantasy football game available right now on FanDuel.com. It's called Best Ball. It's simple to play. All you have to do is draft your team in a snake draft format. After that, FanDuel does all the work. I told you it was easy, guys. FanDuel will calculate your top-scoring players for the week, and boom, that becomes your starting lineup. It's that easy, and it gets even better. FanDuel editor-in-chief JJ Zacharyson is giving you his top 3 best ball values right now.
One value that I like a lot in best ball leagues over on FanDuel is Zack Moss, who's being drafted 107th overall on average. Now, he's going to be sharing a backfield with Devin Singletary, but Zack Moss is the bigger-bodied running back between the 2 players. Devin Singletary only had 2 goal line rushes last year, so I think Zack Moss could take on that role. And the best part is you don't have to choose which running back is going to go off in a given week in a best ball format. It's going to choose for you. That's why I like Zack Moss on a run-heavy team. There's also Deontay Johnson, who I like a lot, who's just going a little bit ahead of where Zack Moss is being drafted. Last season, we had a great rookie wide receiver class. Deontay Johnson, with a circus at the quarterback position, ended up leading that rookie class in receptions. With Ben Roethlisberger back, I'm expecting big things and a big year 2 breakout from Deontay Johnson. And then finally, Terry McLaurin, another second-year wide receiver who dominated last year. He only saw 93 targets, but Washington also ran the second fewest offensive plays that we've seen any team run since 2011. There's going to be natural regression there, more volume for that offense, and there's not a lot of competition there. So Terry McLaurin could push the 25, 26, maybe even 27% target share range, making him an awesome value.
Great, JJ. Thank you so much for that, you guys. It's so much fun. It's easy, and all you have to do is download the FanDuel app or sign up at FanDuel.com and try out Best Ball for free, and you can do it right now. Let's get to hoops now. FanDuel is also offering a free NBA contest that you just can't miss. Check out the Mountain Dew NBA free play at FanDuel.com/NBA. It's a daily contest that gives out a ton of awesome prizes every night, with first place getting a seat in a live virtual event with NBA legends Gary Payton and Ray Allen. And in addition to that, an entry into that contest automatically gets you into the King of the Mountain 3-point bonus, where you can compete for a share of $15,000. Dave, Pony, and Ed, not only are you competing in a daily NBA DFS contest for free, but you're also trying to set a lineup that scores the most three-pointers. So this is where your insight and expertise comes in handy. Give me an under-the-radar three-point shooter that's going to get hot during the rest of these playoffs. And Pony, I'm coming to you first.
I'm going to take Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the Lakers. Danny Green has gone ice cold in these playoffs. All the attention on LeBron and Anthony Davis, and I think it sets up nicely for him to knock down some open Jays.
I'm going to go to Toronto. Fred VanVleet. This is the fourth leading scorer among three-pointers in the league, and where the top in the playoffs, the top three guys, Mitchell, Murray, and Harden, they're going to price out five figures. VanVleet is only about $7,500 on a nightly basis, so I think he's very good value.
For some general advice, you got to get some big guys who can shoot the three. It's not necessarily the most effective power forwards or centers, but guys who shoot a lot of threes. I look at Miami's Kelly Olynyk. He is a guy second most among all centers who are still playing in the playoffs in terms of three-point shooting rate. Milwaukee, their opponent, well, you know they love to play at a fast pace, and they could go off for 120, 130. So for Miami to keep up, you need to shoot a lot of threes, and Kelly Olynyk could be a part of that recipe.
No doubt. Great stuff, guys. What a fun contest. The Mountain Dew NBA free play is live right now, and it is free. Just head to FanDuel.com/NBA and enter every day through September 7th for your chance to win cash and prizes. That'll do it for us here today. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us right back here for NFL Kickoff next week. Good luck.
Joel Embiid is
really unhappy
because the internet keeps using old gifts to react to his highlights. Mountain Dew presents the Joel Deserves Better gift collection.
Now I'm so happy.
TVG Monday. Labor Day racing includes Del Mar's Grade 1 Run Happy Del Mar Futurity. Scout future stars in this premier stakes event for 2-year-olds. Labor Day Monday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Watch Me As One for Francis Henri Graffard and Pierre-Charles Boudot.
TVG Monday, Del Mar's closing day. 2-year-olds go a mile on the grass in the Del Mar Juvenile Turf. Labor Day excitement that can't be beat. Join us Monday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
up, Eagles and Steelers fans? Welcome inside the FanDuel Sportsbook here at the Meadowlands. You're watching More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kearney, alongside our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now, and you'll be ready to take their advice and place your bets right away. It's easy. It's legal. It's fun. I'm here for it. They're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's get this party started. And guys, we're kicking things off with the Eagles, who start week one with a division matchup in Washington. Philly's a 6.5-point favorite here. Dave Weaver, do they cover?
I think they do, and I think we should grab this line now before it moves to 7 or maybe 7.5, because Philly absolutely dominates Washington when they go to Washington, winning the last 3 games there by about 16 points. Look for Desean Jackson to absolutely outsprint this Washington secondary and shred them for a couple of touchdowns. I think Philadelphia covers relatively easy, Pony.
Well, I've actually flipped on this game, Dave. I liked Philly, but new information has me taking Washington and the points. Jalen Reagor, the big explosive Eagles rookie wide receiver, is going to miss this game, and I thought that was going to be a key piece for them. Also now the Eagles' problems at left tackle. Dave, a guy that I think is from your high school class, same age as you, Jason Peters, might have to play left tackle, and he's demanding a raise to play. So there's already some drama there. All of that adds up to me. I have Philly laying an egg in week one and Washington covering 6 points.
Take some lumps there. All right, Philly fans, here's how you cash in on your team. Put down $50 on the Eagles, giving 6.5. If they cover, you collect more than $95 on your wager. And here's how to find this bet and all the week one lines on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's so easy. Click on football, then 2020 season. You'll see every matchup to kick off the NFL season. And guys, we are just days away. And in addition to betting the spread for games, you can also make dozens of futures bets as well. One of them is how many games will a team win in the regular season. It's a simple over or under bet, so it's really easy for anyone to make. And for this, we turn to our NFL analyst for the right take here, Cole Wright, formerly with the NFL Network, now the new face of Marquee Sports Network in Chicago. Cole, the FanDuel Sportsbook has the Eagles' regular season win total at 9.5. Do you think Philly goes over or under 9.5, Cole?
Well, Lisa, I'll tell you what, 10 wins, that's been good enough to win the division in 3 of the last 5 seasons. And if any squad knows that, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, they won the division at 9-7. And this year, since it's 2020, let's raise the stakes. Why not? Now, last week I told you I see Carson Wentz and the Eagles competing for a division title, and I still stand by that. Now, Wentz, he needs to stay healthy. That's a no-brainer, but so do D. Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Now, if this can materialize, Eagle fans, I think your guys will be in business. Now, even if Carson Wentz can't stay healthy, Jalen Hurts, he's going to play a big part. We saw him get a little bit of action with the first team a little earlier in the week when Carson Wentz had some soft tissue issues. So I like this Eagles team to fly to 10 wins. We'll see if that all comes to fruition.
Hey, Cole, I dig it. It's plus money, and Eagles fans, it's plus money for you. Think your team can win at least 10 games. Place a winning $50 bet. You collect $100 just like that. All right, moving on here. Time now to talk Steelers. A healthy Big Ben leads the black and gold into New York, right here to face the Giants at the Meadowlands in week one. It's Monday Night Football, guys. Pittsburgh giving 3.5 points on the road. Dave, who do you like in this matchup?
I like the Giants. I think that's a good line to be able to lose by a field goal and still get the cover. I just think that the Steelers are going to be a little bit rusty here. Big Ben hasn't played in forever, and he just has a history of not being very sharp in week number 1. On the flip side, I love Daniel Jones getting the start here. He didn't have that opportunity last year in game number 1 when they were going with Eli Manning. This is his team. He is going to lead them to a very good season. I love the offense for the Giants, and I think they can keep up with the Steelers in this game.
Dave, Steelers fans in the audience would sign up in blood for Ben Roethlisberger rust. After watching what we saw at the quarterback position last year, it was abysmal. 18 touchdowns to 17 interceptions for Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges. Ben Roethlisberger's going to get a chance to go up against the Giants defense that lost DeAndre Baker. We all know why. That was a key player for the Giants, looking for big things in year 2 from their former first-round pick. He's gone now, jettisoned. I think Roethlisberger comes back with a bang and instantly, from the very beginning, lets you know that he is back with a vengeance in 2020.
All right, Steelers fans, go ahead and tail pony there. If you place a bet on Pittsburgh and they cover that 3.5 points, you'll collect more than $93 on your bet. Now let's bring in the guy that you're going to take all of that money from. It's the odds maker himself. John Sheeran sets the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. And John, we've talked Eagles and Steelers, but there are 30 more teams that you can bet on, along with, of course, a bunch of different player prop bets as well. What are some overall betting trends that you're seeing as we get closer to week 1 of the season?
Yeah, Lisa, I think a lot of sharp bettors have taken a lot of the unders so far. That's definitely a general trend I'm seeing across all of the games in general. And I like the angle a little bit. I think the fact that we haven't had a preseason COVID restrictions, I don't think there'll be as much synergies between some of the teams that you would normally expect, and therefore I think it's reasonable to expect some sloppy play and therefore, less scoring. So I think that's one interesting angle. I think on the local teams in particular, we spoke last week about how much money we'd seen for the Steelers against the Giants, lack of Giants money there, with that ratio in that market being about 10-1 on the Steelers minus 3.5. That's only elevated since. It's now about 14-1, and I expect that line to come under pressure in the next week or so, Lisa.
Okay, great insight, Sharon. We'll see you again in just a bit. Let's put some math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy. Ed Egros here joining us from Dallas. And Ed, you combed the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You found a couple lines that you really like. So let's expose them here. Where did the numbers take us, Ed?
Well, it's perhaps the biggest game of week 1. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Tom Brady's new team getting 3.5 against the Saints. What should we expect from this Tampa Bay offense with Tom Brady and without Jameis Winston? Well, last year, Winston ranked second in football in average intended air yards at 10.5. That led to a lot of completions, but also a lot of interceptions. Winston was third in bad throw percentage at 20.6. For Tom Brady, with safe to say less accomplished receivers, he was 28 in average intended air yards at 7.6. And yet his bad throw percentage was still high, fourth worst and right at the same mark at 20.6%. My bold prediction is that this Tampa Bay offense will be worse under Tom Brady, at least in the early going. And I think the Saints cover the spread.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Ed, because of the early going point that you just made, one of the betting trends that I am going to really pay attention to at the start of the year are teams with continuity. Quarterback, offensive coordinator, head coach, all holdovers from 2019. I don't want to bet on teams that had a lot of turnover. The Bucs had a ton, and that's why I'm going to go with you on New Orleans in week 1.
Not to mention Leonard Fournette's with Tampa Bay. So, again, lack of continuity. Another bet I like that has a lot of good value is the under 48.5 betwixt Cleveland and Baltimore. Part of it is I'm playing the game just like what Sharon's talking about, where I'm taking a lot of unders throughout week 1. But I also think Ravens ball control is going to matter, and it's going to make for a fast game with fewer possessions. Last year, nobody averaged more yards per drive than Baltimore at 41.77. They did it largely by running the football, 54.07% of the time. They call the run play by far the most in the NFL. Assuming the Ravens have success again with that, Browns will have to play catch up, meaning they'll pass more, and that could be a problem with Baker Mayfield. You got the second highest interception rate at 3.9%. You go with a not so hot 62.8 expected completion percentage. I know interceptions are volatile from one year to the next, but Baker Mayfield has got to show me more. I like the under in this game.
I'm going to fade you on this because I think that Cleveland can go in there to Baltimore and do what they did last year, and that is put up a ton of points. Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb both had their best games of the year in Baltimore last year, so I'm going to think this is going to be a back-and-forth game. Instead of the under, I'm going with the over.
All right, guys, you could bet the total, but you can also bet the spread as well. If you like defending MVP Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to cover the 7.5-point spread, a winning $50 bet gets you about $98. And you can remember all the week 1 lines are posted right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just click on football and then 2020 season, and they are all right there. All right, now it's time to turn things up with our More Ways Wildest Wagers of the Week. Guys, this segment's pretty self-explanatory. Dave, I'm coming to you first. Let's get nuts. What's your wildest wager of the week?
Yeah, this is pretty nutty. So, you can pick who wins the Super Bowl. I think that's going to be the Chiefs, 6.5-1. But you can also name the finalists. So you're saying who are the Chiefs going to play or who are the AFC and NFC representatives going to be. In horse racing terms, I would call this my ice cold exacta. Instead of 6.5-1, I'm going to get 80-1 that the Chiefs play the Falcons. That is the matchup in this year's Super Bowl, and I'm getting paid 80-1, Pony.
Well, some people might think this one comes from Antarctica, Dave, because this one's freezing cold. I like Doug Marrone, believe it or not, to win the NFL Coach of the Year, and it's because of the value. When you're searching for Coach of the Year betting options, folks, you just automatically cross out coaches of teams where we expect them to win. For example, Andy Reid, he's not going to win the Coach of the Year. Everyone thinks the Chiefs are going to be a great team, like Dave just said. So I find a coach from a team with a very low bar for 2020, and you'll find no lower bar than what the Jacksonville Jaguars are expected to do.
Well done, guys. Those are pretty wild bets, but I dig it. I'm with you. Are you guys at home with our guys on those long shots? Check out those bets and much more on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today, right now. All right, time now to get the right take on these Steelers, and for that we check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright. Cole, Steelers fans want wins. The question is, for you, how many? The line at the FanDuel Sportsbook is 9 right now. Are you going over or under that number?
Well, I hope Steelers fans, they like what I'm about to say, because 9 wins for this Steelers team, yeah, I can jive with that 8 days a week. A slimmed-down Ben Roethlisberger, check. And you have not 1 but 2 Watt brothers on the roster. Yeah, check. TJ and Derek, that's got to be good for something, right? Now, with PJ, that defense, they're going to continue to roll based on what they did last season. They were top 5 overall, number 1 in sacks and turnovers, and you couple that with an improved offense, I can see this team going 10-6, maybe 11-5. Now, last year, Pittsburgh, they scored 10 points or less in 5 games. It was either Mason Rudolph, it was Duck Hodges, but this year, it's Big Ben. So 10-11 wins, Lisa, that's where my head's at right now.
Okay, making some friends there in the Steel City, Cole. Thank you. Think your team can win more than 9 games? Steelers fans, place a winning $50 bet and you collect more than $95. It's a FanDuel Sportsbook app. Let's head to LA now, where the Rams are set to host the Cowboys in a big NFC matchup there in week 1. Dallas giving 2.5 points on the road in this one. It's a tight line, Pony. Which side do you like?
I love the Rams here, Lisa. They had the hardest schedule in the NFL last year. They still managed to get 9 wins. I think the coaching matchup is a mismatch, frankly. Sean McVay against Mike McCarthy, who was carried by Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay. And I still don't understand how the Cowboys' offensive philosophy is going to pan out. Is it Kellen Moore, a holdover from the Garrett regime? Is it Mike McCarthy calling plays? A lot of confusion, Dave, and that's why I'm taking the home team.
And you mentioned the tough schedule last year. One of those tough games was when they had to play in Dallas, and Dallas smoked them. So this is a revenge game for the Rams. And remember, this is the first ever game in the beautiful SoFi Stadium $2 billion project that went closer to $5 billion. They went a little bit over budget. But if you don't think the Rams are showing up in this game in their home opener, I know there are no fans, but this is historical here in Los Angeles. I like the Rams as well, Pony.
All right, Philly fans. May feel weird to bet on the Cowboys, but if you win your $50 bet, you'll collect almost $98 if you're going with the Dallas Cowboys on that wager. Easy, legal, live, and tons of fun with us. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account? What are you waiting for? If you sign up now, FanDuel is sweetening the pot. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Yep. Just download the app, sign up for an account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So guys, take a look at your screen there and let's put this into motion. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. So let's make our viewers some money here. Give me a player prop bet that you're hammering that will lead to a big payout. Dave, you first. What you got?
I'm going to focus on a season-long prop, and that is Julio Jones, total receiving yards, 1,349.5 yards. Now, last year was the first year in 5 years that he dipped below 1,400 yards, and the reason why he's going to be even less than that this year is because Calvin Ridley is set for a breakout year on the other side, and I think Matt Ryan is going to look for him a lot more than he has the last couple of seasons. A very young receiver that's going to take some yards away from Julio, so give me the under. $1,000 would get me back close to 1,900.
Yeah, I love this risk-free betting option, and I want a big reward right away in week 1, guys. I'm going to take Justin Watson, the sneaky slot receiver in Tampa Bay, to catch Tom Brady's first touchdown pass. He's a highly educated kid. He's an Ivy Leaguer. You know he's smart, got a great work ethic. Brady loves working the middle of the field. All eyes on the other receivers Risk-free $1,000 helps you collect $17,000 on Justin Watson to catch that very memorable first touchdown pass from TB12.
That's incredible. I've got a season-long prop bet for you guys. Matt Stafford way over 4,049.5 passing yards. Look, the NFC North is going to be the most competitive division in all of the NFL. And last year, Stafford finished 8th in DPOE composite. Not to mention, those top 3 receivers for Stafford are coming back from a year ago. And if I'm not mistaken, they are all having a contract year. They all got to eat, right? My $1,000 risk-free bet gives me a grand total of $1,892.
Boom. Guys, those are the payouts I'm looking for. Great stuff there. Sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account with the promo code MOREWAYS1000. It's MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy. It's legal. It's live. Take your winnings if you hit. Get your money back if you don't. It is that easy. Great stuff, guys. All right, John Sheeran, let's get you back in here. They're placing those bets risk-free, and there's a bet, the one that is the hottest at the sportsbook right now, that one line that everybody is betting on. Open your books up, John. Show us the inside. What bet is that?
I love Jordan Watson. I mean, I agree with Pony. I think there's an angle to looking away from where all of the defense is going to be. Everybody's looking at Gronkowski in that market as well. I definitely think there's a good, strong angle to Jordan Watson. Tied very heavily to that, Lisa. The hottest bet on the sportsbook, but without a shadow of a doubt, is the Buccaneers to go on and win it all and win the Super Bowl. 15-1 right now. Obviously, this week, good news at running back with Leonard Fournette moving there as well. So another strong option for Tom Brady to attack us with. I think locally, the Steelers, Lisa, all of the money's for that over regular season wins of 9. We're now minus 120. We were minus 110 last week. I said it wouldn't last. It's not going to last. So people that want to bet on the Steelers this year, take that over 9 right now.
I love that long shot on Justin Watson as well. Sheeran, thanks for the insight. We'll be back to you in just a moment. Guys, we are here at the Meadowlands where there are dozens of Eagles and Steelers bets available. But you can also wager on your favorite team right from your phone, right from your couch, in your home. The FanDuel Sportsbook app has hundreds of bets waiting for you right now. So let's take a closer look at which one of those lines gives bettors the best value. I want to bring in our betting experts to give us their best Eagles or Steelers wagers on the board right now. Dave, coming to you, get us started.
Well, I'm going to look at the Philadelphia Eagles and when they're going to lose their first game. Lucky for me, I have all the results here of every single game. That's 256 games handicapped. And I'll tell you, that the Eagles beat Washington week number 1. Then they have the Rams and the Bengals at home. That's easy. Now, then they go to San Francisco. That is plus 260 if they lose that game. I think they win that game. Then they go to Pittsburgh. Now you're getting plus 900. So they're going to lose in week 5 at Pittsburgh. It says so right here.
Dave, I would pay a lot of money to steal that sheet and then fade every pick. I'd love to get my hands in John Sheeran, but I have to adjust his lines for it. I'm going to take the Steelers' first loss at home against Houston in week 3. I have watched firsthand great quarterbacks come into Heinz Field and win the last couple of years early in the season. Patrick Mahomes 2 years ago, Russell Wilson last year, and I think Desean Watson lights up some fireworks against the Steelers in week 3.
Weaver, I'm a computer programmer. I can't tell you the last time I've written anything with a pen or pencil, so thank you for the nostalgia there. I know this is a little chalky for a pick, but my final NFC East finishing order: Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Washington. Let's just say for a second that Jalen Hurts actually starts the majority, if not the entire season for Philadelphia. That 70 completion percentage and passing efficiency rating of 191.2 in college, that's going to translate to being the second best quarterback in the division behind Mr. Prescott, and that's my order.
That's great stuff right there, guys. Thank you. Check out those bets and, of course, all the week 1 lines, the other Eagles and Steelers wagers available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You can do it right now. NFL kickoff just days away, but it's never too early to look ahead to the Super Bowl. Place your bet now to take advantage of the Road to 55 promotion with us. If you make a wager of $50 or more on any team to win the Super Bowl, you'll get a $5 bonus for each win that team gets, meaning you could earn up to $50 in site credit if you take advantage right now. This Road to 55 offer, it's good through September 10th, opening kickoff, so make sure you place your bet on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Road to 55 available for you right now. One of the teams hoping to make the Super Bowl, of course, is the New England Patriots, even with a new quarterback. Cam Newton is fighting for that starting job, but played only 2 games last year, had surgery on his left foot. He also had shoulder surgery twice. So what can we expect to see from Cam Newton in New England? Pro Football doc David Chow tells us how those injuries could impact Newton this season.
Well, I can understand the concern over Cam Newton. He's your starting quarterback, and he hasn't finished the last 2 seasons with injuries, with a total of 3 surgeries. 2 on his throwing shoulder, and then last December's foot injury that required surgery. I think the throwing shoulder is behind him. Is he going to play till he's 43 like Tom Brady? Probably not, but he should be healthy for this season. And as far as his foot is concerned, I think it was a mild Lisfranc injury, which is why surgery got put off until December, which is why I think he'll be ready for September, week 1 for the Patriots. And I look for Bill Belichick to use him very creatively in several different ways.
All right, thank you, Doc. Now let's take a couple minutes to talk about the Super Bowl of horse racing. Let's get to it. The Kentucky Derby runs on Saturday, and the intensity is growing for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Dave, horses are your wheelhouse. Got to get you back in here. Give us your pick and let our viewers know about the risk-free bet available right now. It's September. Why aren't we talking the Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the first Saturday in May. This year, it happens to be the first Saturday in September. But I'm going to go with a long shot named King Guillermo. If you remember Major League Baseball All-Star Victor Martinez back with the Tigers and the Indians, what is he doing these days? He owns horses, and he has a Kentucky Derby starter, 20-1 on the morning line. You can make a $200 risk-free bet by downloading the TVG app. I'm going to put that $200 on King Guillermo. He's 20-1 in the morning line. That would get me close to $4,000. And you can watch this race on NBC. It's going to go Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Great stuff, Dave. Thank you so much. Guys, if you want to tail Dave or if you want to go rogue and fade Dave, it's totally your choice, but you can do it right now. Don't download the TVG app, sign up for an account, and place your risk-free $200 bet today and enjoy the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Time to fill you in on a new and free season-long fantasy football game available right now on FanDuel.com. It's called Best Ball, and it's simple to play. All you have to do is draft your team in a snake draft format, and after that, FanDuel does all the work. I told you it was easy. FanDuel will calculate your top scoring players for the week, and boom, that becomes your starting lineup, and it gets even better. FanDuel editor-in-chief JJ Zachariason gives you his top 3 best ball values right now.
One value that I like a lot in best ball leagues over on FanDuel is Zack Moss, who's being drafted 107th overall on average. Now, he's going to be sharing a backfield with Devin Singletary, but Zack Moss is the bigger-bodied running back between the 2 players. Devin Singletary only had 2 goal line rushes last year, so I think Zack Moss could take on that role. And the best part is you don't have to choose which running back is going to go off in a given week in a best ball format. It's going to choose for you. That's why I like Zack Moss on a run-heavy team. There's also Deontay Johnson, who I like a lot, who's just going a little bit ahead of where Zack Moss is being drafted. Last season, we had a great rookie wide receiver class. Deontay Johnson, with a circus at the quarterback position, ended up leading that rookie class in receptions. With Ben Roethlisberger back, I'm expecting big things and a big year 2 breakout from Deontay Johnson. And then finally, Terry McLaurin, another second-year wide receiver who dominated last year. He only saw 93 targets, but Washington also ran the second fewest offensive plays that we've seen any team run since 2011. There's going to be natural regression there, more volume for that offense, and there's not a lot of competition there. So Terry McLaurin could push the 25, 26, maybe even 27% target share range, making him an awesome value.
Awesome, JJ. Thank you. You can follow JJ on Twitter, the Late Round QB. It's so much fun. It's so much easy. All you got to do to play, download the FanDuel app and sign up at FanDuel.com and try out Best Ball for free. Let's get to hoops now. FanDuel is also offering a free NBA contest that you cannot miss. Check out the Mountain Dew NBA free play at FanDuel.com/NBA. It's a daily contest that gives out a ton of awesome prizes every night, with first place getting a seat in a live virtual event with NBA legends Gary Payton and Ray Allen. And in addition to that, an entry into that contest automatically gets you into the King of the Mountain, the 3-point bonus, where you can compete for a share of $15,000. Dave, Pony, and Ed, not only are you competing in a daily NBA DFS contest for free, but you're also trying to set a lineup that scores the most three-pointers. So, guys, give me an under-the-radar three-point shooter that's going to get hot during the rest of these playoffs. Pony, coming to you first. Who you got?
I'm going to take Kentavious Caldwell-Pope from the Lakers because Danny Green was supposed to be their three-point assassin, and he forgot how to shoot. And so Caldwell-Pope was filled in that spot with so much attention on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They need a third scorer, and this is the guy.
I'm going to go to Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors. Surprisingly, he is averaging 4 3-pointers per game here in the playoffs. He's behind guys like Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray. James Harden is close to 4 as well. He actually dipped in his last game because he was ice cold. But those guys are going to price out, 5 figures. Harden sometimes as high as $12,000. But VanVleet usually $7,000 to $8,000. So I think the value is there for him to hit some threes and help you win.
Guys, don't forget, you got to find a good power forward and a good center who can shoot a lot of threes, and that matters in terms of trying to figure out how to put together the best lineup. And in terms of a center, the one guy who's second in three-point shooting rate who is still playing in these playoffs is Miami's Kelly Olynyk. Their opponent in Milwaukee, they can score a bunch of points, and they play the fastest pace in all of the NBA, at least in the regular season. That game, too, Milwaukee shot really poorly from beyond the arc. They're going to get better. Miami has to keep up, and that might mean Kelly Olynyk launches from deep frequently.
Kelly Olynyk, I love that pull. I love to watch him play. He is such a special talent. Great stuff, Ed. Great find. And great stuff for you guys pulling it all together in this awesome contest. The Mountain Dew NBA free play is live right now. And did I mention it is free? Just head to FanDuel.com/NBA and enter every single day through September 7th for your chance to win cash and all of those great prizes. Hey guys, that'll do it for us. Thanks for hanging with us and watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. You can follow us on Twitter at More Ways to Win TV for bonus segments throughout the NFL season. You can follow any of our analysts. You can also follow me at Lisa Kearney on Twitter and Instagram. And we're going to be right back here next week because next week the NFL is officially kicking off the season September 10th. We will be right back here. We hope to see you back here with us.
Joel Embiid is
really unhappy
because the internet keeps using old gifts to react to his highlights. Mountain Dew presents the Joel Deserves Better gift collection.
Now I'm so happy.
Time for new reading glasses? Go to readers.com. Choose from hundreds of styles and colors for under $20. And now enter this exclusive TV coupon code at checkout to save up to 40%. That's readers.com.
Real players, real stories.
First, I saw the commercial, then my friend recommended Betfair, and I signed up that day.
On Betfair Casino, you can play your favorite casino games anywhere in New Jersey, including blackjack, roulette, slots, and more.
It's just so much fun.
When I play online, I prefer Betfair.
No long drives to the casino. No hassle.
If you're still driving to the casinos, save the gas and tolls. Put that money in your pocket.
Joining is easy. Go to BetfairCasino.com or download the app and sign up today.
I saw the commercial on TV, downloaded the app, and within minutes, I was playing.
And now, when you join, you can play your first day risk-free up to $200.
You sign up, You play your first day risk-free. How great is that?
I've played those other online casinos, but for me, Betfair is the best.
I wish I signed up earlier. It's just so much fun.
Join the fun today at Betfair Casino.
TVG Sunday. 3-year-olds at 1.1 1/8 in the Grade 2 Del Mar Derby. Heated summer action as cool as ever on the Del Mar Jimmy Durante Turf Course. Play Sunday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
What up, Bears and Colts fans? Welcome inside the FanDuel Sportsbook and welcome to the family. You're watching More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kearney, and Illinois, it's an exciting time. Mobile sports betting is now legal and live in your state, and the FanDuel Sportsbook is where it's at. We are psyched to have you with us and help you make some money. The FanDuel Sportsbook is available right now in the app. Download the app right now. Sign up for a new account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000, and we are giving you a risk-free bet up to $1,000. And our team of sports betting experts are here to help you place your risk-free bet with their advice. It's More Ways 1000. FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is easy. It's legal. It's live. And it's so much fun. They're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. So let's get this party started, Illinois. And let's kick things off with your Chicago Bears. The Bears are on the road at Detroit in Week 1, guys. Chicago's getting 3 points in this matchup. Dave Weaver, can the Bears cover that spread?
I don't think they are. They've really struggled in week number 1. Here's what I know about the last 6 seasons. They haven't won a game in week number 1. They're 0-6. Detroit over the last 9 years, 6-2-1 in opening week. So I think Detroit's going to come out a little bit hotter here. And the Bears, they did beat Detroit in Detroit last year, but remember who the Lions had. David Blau was their quarterback that afternoon, and Bo Scarborough was their running back. They're healthy now. I'm looking for Stafford, Galladay all day long here. I just don't think, Pony, that offensively the Bears are going to be able to keep up with what Detroit is going to do.
Well, I agree, because this is the biggest quarterback mismatch of week number 1. We still don't know who the Bears starting quarterback is, which is ridiculous that Matt Nagy is still playing head games with people. Either he doesn't know if it's Foles or Trubisky, which would be bad, or he actually thinks he's going to get some advantage in this game, keeping Detroit on its toes. Listen, Trubisky stinks. If he starts, he's the worst starting quarterback in the league, and Foles has never been good outside of Philadelphia. I think the Lions cover the 3 easily.
All right, guys, let's stick with the same game here. Talk another popular bet at the FanDuel Sportsbook and, of course, on the app as well, the total. So will these teams combine to score more than 44 points here? Andrew Filipponi, which way are you going on the Bears and Lions here in Week 1?
Well, I'm going to take the under. I mean, I just preached it with the Bears. How could 44, can I count on Chicago to score double-digit points in this game? A touchdown even? I don't know who the running back is. They didn't get Fournette. It's going to be ugly. Their punter is going to be the name you hear the most in this game.
And you look at these matchups between these two teams. The last 9 times they played, it's gone under 6 times. In Detroit, the last 4 times, it's gone under 3 times. And you're right. When you play an over, you really want to have confidence that both sides are going to contribute to that total. I don't have the confidence that the Bears are going to put up enough points. I'm with you. Let's say 24-10 final Detroit.
All right, Bears fans, if you have confidence in your team, here's how you cash in. Put down $50 on Chicago +3. If they cover, you collect more than $93. If you like the total bet, what the guys were just talking about, a winning $50 bet on the under pays out more than $95. Here's how to find these bets and all the Week 1 lines on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is so easy. Click on Football Then 2020 Season. You will see every matchup to kick off this season. All right, in addition to betting the spread and total for games, you can also make dozens of futures bets as well. One of them is how many games will a team win in the regular season? It's a simple over or under bet, so it's very easy. Anyone can make this bet, and for this bet, we're going straight to the heart of Chicago for the right take. Our NFL analyst, Cole Wright, formerly with the NFL Network and now the new face of Marquee Sports Network there in Chicago. Cole, let's make our viewers some money here, shall we? The FanDuel Sportsbook has the Bears' regular season win total at 8. Does Chicago go over or under 8 wins this season?
Well, Lisa, this one is easy. And sorry, Bears fans, but I don't see this team managing 8 wins at all. No disrespect to Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky, but like Pony said, if you have 2 quarterbacks, essentially, you don't have one. And neither of these guys is a franchise quarterback by the numbers. Now, Matt Nagy, he was all over the moon about Mitchell Trubisky leading the red zone offense to a touchdown earlier in the week. But last time I looked, that's what quarterbacks are supposed to do. When you get inside that red zone, you're supposed to punch it in. Now, defense, they were a top 10 unit in 2019. However, I think the heightened expectations, they're going to cause that unit to press just a little bit. Now, the offense, they were close to dead last overall, and they were dead last when it came to big plays. So 8 wins, that's a big hill to climb. I'm going to give them 7 and 9 at best. My Chicago-ness, well, it's been taken away with that prediction.
It's a technical term, Chicago-ness. Thank you, Cole. Good stuff. Hey, it's not about making friends here. It's about making money. Illinois, cheer on your team and your bet and do it right from your couch. Mobile sports betting is legal and live in your state. Bears fans, this is your jam. Check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up for a new account. Remember to use that promo code. It's right there in the corner of your screen. More ways 1,000. It's a risk-free bet up to $1,000. If you're fading, Cole, you think your team can win at least 9 games, a winning $50 bet gets you $105. Let's get to Indianapolis now, where Phillip Rivers is under center as the Colts get set to face the Jags in Week 1. Indy is giving 7 in this matchup, guys. It's the biggest road favorite of the week. Pony, can they cover?
They can, I guess, but I don't think they will. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I'm just not a believer in the Rivers to Indy experiment working out for them. He's so comfortable in one place for so long. I can't imagine he steps in and hits the ground running, even against a Jacksonville team that's in turmoil. Again, I don't know who he's going to hand the ball off to. Is it Marlon Mack? Is it Jonathan Taylor? They got to find a guy there, and for that reason, I'm going to actually play the points in Jacksonville +7.
Well, for their sake, it should be Jonathan Taylor because he is an absolute stud. I think he's going to have a good year. But I think 7.5, wherever it ends up here by game time, it's just too much for Indy to lay. You look at the last 5 times they've gone to Jacksonville, they haven't covered once overall, even in Indy. Last 10 games, 1-8-1 against the spread. So they just don't match up that well against Jacksonville. Laying this many points on the road this early in the season, I'm not going to do it. I'll take the Jags.
All right, good stuff, guys. That line has moved to 7.5 right now. But Colts fans, if you're counting on your new quarterback, if you think your team can do it and you place a $50 bet on Indy and they cover, you collect almost $98 on your bet. And let's bring in the guy you're taking all of that money from. It's the odds maker himself, John Sheeran. Sets the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. John, you just took a $56,000 bet on the Bears to miss the playoffs. It's obviously a big wager on a very specific line. But let's look elsewhere. What are some of the overall betting trends you're seeing as we get closer to Week 1 of the season?
I think overall, Lisa, there's a lot of people, a lot of sharp bettors that I would respect betting the unders across multiple games. I think it's a fair angle. I can see why it appeals to a sharp bettor. We obviously haven't had a preseason. The totals look roughly where they should be, as if we did have a preseason. And then you've got COVID restrictions that have obviously added to, a lot of the rust that potentially people are expecting to see. So that's definitely a trend we're seeing across the piece. I think that Bears bet in particular, the guys spoke about it, all three of the experts, as you might call them, all very heavily down on the Bears. This customer, a new customer of ours in New Jersey, walked in yesterday, $56,000 to win $31,500 on the Bears to miss the playoffs at -178. We've moved that now to -205 with yes +164 for any Bears fans who think that Nick Foles is the answer.
Great stuff, Sheeran. Great insight as always. We'll see you back here in just a moment. Let's put some math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros, joining us from Dallas. Ed, you combed the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You found a couple of lines that you really like. Where do the numbers take us, Ed?
Well, Lisa, let's start in the NFC North, shall we? And I get that the Packers have beaten the Minnesota Vikings seemingly every single time they've matched up over the last umpteen years. But I think it really does end this time with Minnesota covering 2.5. Packers are due for serious regression. Last season, they went 13-3, but if you look at expected record based upon points scored, points allowed, really more of a 10-6 squad. Won a lot of close games they shouldn't have. and now they have that first-place schedule to deal with. For the Vikes, though, Kirk Cousins finished 7th at EPA plus CPOE at .166. He also has an elite receiving core. They finished 5th in yards after catch per completion at 5.8. Even without Stephon Diggs, this receiving core is deep, more than capable of enough of a blowout win over Green Bay.
I'm going to tell you, Ed, and I think Yannick Ngakoue, who gets traded to Minnesota from Jacksonville, is going to have, Bears fans will hate hearing this, I think he's going to have a Khalil Mack effect on that Minnesota defense. You put him with Mike Zimmer, who's a defensive guru. I could see him potentially leading the league in sacks and making a big impression in Minnesota, and it'll start in week 1 against Green Bay.
And Pony, another bet I like that has good value, the under between Houston and Kansas City. I like both quarterbacks. I like both coaches. I just think that total at 53.5 is just too high here. Texans trade DeAndre Hopkins, who's number 1 on the team in weighted opportunity among all targets at .69. Second place on the team is Will Fuller, who has one of the higher injury probabilities in all of football per player profiler. For the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes is not as big of a deep threat as you might think. Last year, he finished 9th in completed air yards per completion at 6.5. His intended air yards came in 13th, in part because Travis Kelce is such a reliable check down. It is possible that Kansas City wins this game in a blowout, which means they're going to run the ball a good bit, and I think that means an under total here.
And remember, Ed, this is not a Sunday game. This is the Thursday night game. I'm going to tell you, because the last 2 years, that opening game on Thursday night, the final scores have been 10-3 and 18-12. So expect these two teams to be a little bit slow coming out of the box. I'm going to go with the under as well.
All right, guys, great stuff. You can bet the total, as those guys just talked about. You can also bet the spread. Do you think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs can cover that 9.5 points? Well, a winning $50 bet pays out more than $93. And remember, all the Week 1 lines are posted on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Just click on football and then 2020 season. It's FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now it's time to turn things up with our More Ways Wildest Wagers of the Week. Guys, this segment is pretty self-explanatory. I think you guys look forward to this every week. Let's get nuts, Dave. You first. Give me your wildest wager of the week.
Well, to find something wild, you really have to scour the FanDuel Sportsbook website and look for some crazy stuff. So everybody knows that you can bet who wins the Super Bowl, but if you scroll down below that, there's a tab that says Name the Finalists. You're saying who the matchup is going to be in the Super Bowl. In the horse racing terms, for me, this would be an ice-cold exacta of the Kansas City Chiefs from the AFC and the Atlanta Falcons from the NFC. If you're just betting the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, they're 6-1. But if you get them to match up against the Falcons, 80-1. So that's where I'm going. Name the finalists, Chiefs and Falcons.
One of the many props I love, Dave, at the FanDuel Sportsbook is Coach of the Year. And the trend here, the theme here with winners is find a team that exceeds expectations. And no team in the NFL has lower expectations than Jacksonville. Doug Marrone, say what you will about his coaching style, but he exceeded expectations in Buffalo, and he did get the Jaguars to an AFC championship game. So if he could somehow pull off 9-7, guys, I think he has a shot at winning the award. And right now, he is literally the longest shot to do so.
Well, I have a slight problem with that. Right here, I have all the results of every game this year, Pony. The Jags are going to start off 0-12. How can you be coach in the year when you're a 2-14 team? I mean, it's a bowl. That is wild, Lisa, what he's doing. But come on, the Jags.
This is the best news. That your sheet says 0-12. That makes me feel like they're going to start 10-2.
You guys, I wish we had more time for that. I really do. And I am going back to those 80-1 odds because, Dave, I know you're hammering Atlanta hard. We've got more of that coming up. Those are pretty wild bets, and you know I dig it. I'm with you guys. But are you all at home with our guys on their long shots? Check out those bets and much more on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. You can place those bets right now. All right, let's get back to Chicago and our NFL analyst, Cole Wright, standing by for the right take. Cole, let's talk Colts win total. The line on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now is 9. You going over or under 9?
Well, I hate to be the dark cloud here, but I have good news and I have bad news, Lisa. We'll start with the good news because I see this Colts team. They start off hot, 5-2, right out of the gates. It'll be a sprint for them, but to be cliche, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So now, of course, comes the bad news. And after that 5-2 start, I think this team They're going to lose 8 weeks straight in weeks 9 through 16. They'll get a consolation prize in week 17, and they take on the Jaguars at the house. But I don't think Jacoby Brissett is necessarily a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers. But Brissett, last season, he threw 6 picks in 15 games. And Phillip Rivers, well, he threw 20 interceptions. And that said, it could be a long season in Indy because Reggie Wayne and Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, that trio not walking through that door. So 6-10, that's what you can count on this year.
Okay, well, Colts fans, if you're betting with your heart and your head here, and you think your team can win at least 10 games, fade Cole. Do your thing. Place a winning $50 bet. You collect almost $92 on your wager. All right, Illinois, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Mobile sports betting is legal. It's live in your state. And the FanDuel Sportsbook app is tons of fun. It is so easy to use. Now is the time to join this party. We're excited to have you with us. FanDuel is showing it right here. Check it out. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Yep, just download the app. Sign up for a new account using the promo code right there on your screen. More ways, 1,000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. It's more ways, 1,000 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. So let's play some bets, guys. Let's do this thing. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to wager on a risk-free bet. It's risk-free. Let's make our viewers a lot of money. Give me a player prop bet that you're hammering that will lead to a big payout. Dave, you're first. What you got?
I'm going to go with the season-long player prop here, and that is Julio Jones to go under 1,349.5 receiving yards. Look, he's going to have a good year, as he always does, but last year was the first time in 5 seasons that he dipped below 1,400 yards, and he's been healthy, too, every single year. If something goes wrong, obviously he's going to go way under. But I think the reason that he goes under 1,349.5 is because Calvin Ridley is set for a breakout year. Very young receiver on the other side of Julio. He's going to probably get 1,200 or 1,300 yards, take away some of those yards from Julio Jones. So $1,000 risk-free bet brings me back close to 1,900.
Well, I've got a risk-free wager that I'm really excited about, guys, and that is Tom Brady's first touchdown pass to little-known wide receiver Justin Watson, second-year man out of Penn. He is a slot receiver extraordinaire, and if we know one thing about Tom Brady, he loves those shifty slot receivers in the middle of the field. All eyes will be on Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and, of course, Gronk, and that makes Watson, you can risk-free, $1,000 to collect $17,000 on Watson to catch Tom Brady's first Bucs touchdown ball.
Guys, a season-long prop bet for you. Matthew Stafford way over the 4,049.5 passing yards. If you look at Dave Weaver's schedule, you will see that the NFC North will be the most competitive division in football. Just look at it. It's there. It's true. Every quarterback will be asked to pass much more here. Last year, Stafford finished 8th in EPA CPOE composite. My $1,000 bet would score me a total of more than $1,892.
It's all well and good, Dave and Ed, but I am with Pony, guys. Bruce Arians is high on Justin Watson. He said he's the guy that's looking really, really good. He's lost 10 pounds. He said the other day, I think he hit 21 miles per hour in practice. I'm with you, Pony. Some serious return on all of those investments, though, and it's no stress, guys. Thank you. Sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account with the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet. Again, up to $1,000. Bet 5, 10, 100, 500, or up to 1,000. It's easy, legal. It's live. Take your winnings if you hit. Get your money back if you don't. It's a FanDuel Sportsbook app, and it's available right now. John Sheeran, they're placing those bets risk-free. Let's get you back in here because there's a bet that's the hottest one at the sportsbook right now, that one line that everybody is betting on. Which one is it?
That's definitely the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Lisa, to go on and win the Super Bowl. Leonard Fournette has signed this week, and that's only accelerated it. We have a liability of almost $2 million already on the Bucs at 15-1. I expect that to ramp up even more as we get closer to next week. There is a really interesting hot bet that we're working on bringing to the customers in Illinois that I do want to just flag as well, Lisa. It's the starting QB for the Bears, which is an interesting topic that we've touched on already. We opened the market with Nick Foles as a minus 150 favourite. There's actually been a really steady flow of money for Trubisky, who is now from plus 120 all the way into minus 160. So that decision may not be as clear-cut as some people think.
Very interesting. Great perspective, Sharon. Thank you. Bears fans, mobile sports betting is now live in Illinois, and the FanDuel Sportsbook has tons of bets for your favorite team and players. You just heard Sharon talking about the quarterbacks. So this segment is for you right now. We're going to take a closer look at which lines give bettors the best value. I want to bring in our betting experts here to give us their best Bears wager on the board right now. Dave, you're going to get us started. What you got?
Yeah, maybe that was my money, John Sheeran. This is my bet. Trubisky to be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Look, he was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. He wasn't great last year, but I don't think they can possibly give up on him without letting him start week number 1. There's been a huge shift in the money, as John pointed out. Foles favored on Tuesday, turn the page 2 days later to Thursday, and Trubisky minus 160. I like that bet. I think he'll be the week number 1 starter.
And that is music to my ears, because now I like this bet even more. You can find, with the win totals, some real secret value. And this one is Bears under 5.5 wins at plus 650, almost 7-1 on them being one of the worst teams in the NFL. And as Dave touched on it, if they go with Mitch Trubisky out of loyalty, if they chase a sunk cost, they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. You can mark my words.
How about looking on the bright side as far as these Bears are concerned? Allen Robinson over 999.5 receiving yards. I know the quarterback situation, as you guys have mentioned, is a little uncertain. But not only did Robinson finish number 1 in weighted opportunity for the Bears, it was nearly double second-place Taylor Gabriel. Chicago will have to play from behind a lot. They will keep the ball in the air a lot. Plenty of opportunity for Robinson to get chunk yardage. You can thank me by buying me some Lou Malnati's pizza next time I'm in town, guys.
Yes, Lou Malnati's, maybe a little Giordano's. From Matt Nagy this week, by the way, guys, regarding his quarterback, it's not easy, it's not clear-cut, but hey, I love Dave's confidence here. Illinois, these guys did all that research and number crunching just for you. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Check out those Bears bets and all the wagers available at the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Let's move on here. One of the teams hoping to make the Super Bowl every single year is the New England Patriots, even with a new quarterback. Cam Newton is fighting for the starting job, but played only 2 games last year. Of course, we know about the surgery on his left foot. Also had shoulder surgery twice in his career. So we have to ask the question, what can we expect from Cam in New England? Pro Football Doc David Chow tells us how those injuries could impact Newton this season.
Well, I can understand the concern over Cam Newton. He's your starting quarterback, and he hasn't finished the last 2 seasons with injuries, with a total of 3 surgeries. 2 on his throwing shoulder, and then last December's foot injury that required surgery. I think the throwing shoulder is behind him. Is he going to play till he's 43 like Tom Brady? Probably not, but he should be healthy for this season. And as far as his foot is concerned, I think it was a mild Lisfranc injury, which is why surgery got put off until December, which is why I think he'll be ready for September, week 1 for the Patriots. And I look for Bill Belichick to use him very creatively in several different ways.
Thank you, Doc. Now let's take a couple minutes to talk about the Super Bowl of horse racing. The Kentucky Derby runs on Saturday, and the intensity is growing for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Dave, horses are your wheelhouse. Got to get you back in here and give us your pick. And hey, also let viewers know about the risk-free bet available right now.
Yeah, there is a $200 risk-free bet. You download the TVG app, and you can get a $200 risk-free bet on any horse in the Kentucky Derby. And I'm going to go with the long shot, and that is going to be King Guillermo. He's owned by Victor Martinez, a 5-time Major League Baseball All-Star for the Indians and the Tigers. Had a passion for baseball. Now his passion is owning thoroughbreds. And he has the Tampa Bay Derby winner, King Guillermo, going up against the big favorite. Tiz the Law is going to be a real short price, but King Guillermo, 20-1 in the morning line. So a $200 risk-free bet would get you about $4,000. You can watch this one on NBC, 7 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, Lisa.
Great return. Ice Cold Exactor right there. You can follow him on Twitter. Thank you, Dave. If you want to tail Dave or, hey, go rogue and fade our expert, you can do it now. Download the TVG app, sign up for an account, place your risk-free $200 bet today, and enjoy the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Time to fill you in on a new and free season-long fantasy football game available right now on FanDuel.com. It is called Best Ball, and it's simple to play. All you have to do is draft your team. It's a snake draft format. After that, FanDuel does all the work. Told you it was easy. FanDuel will calculate your top-scoring players for the week, and boom, that becomes your starting lineup. It gets even better, too. FanDuel editor-in-chief J.J. Zacharyson gives you his top 3 best ball values right now.
One value that I like a lot in best ball leagues over on FanDuel is Zack Moss, who's being drafted 107th overall on average. Now, he's going to be sharing a backfield with Devin Singletary, but Zack Moss is the bigger-bodied running back between the two players. Devin Singletary only had 2 goal line rushes last year, so I think Zack Moss could take on that role. And the best part is you don't have to choose which running back is going to go off in a given week in a best ball format. It's going to choose for you. That's why I like Zack Moss on a run-heavy team. There's also Deontay Johnson, who I like a lot, who's just going a little bit ahead of where Zack Moss is being drafted. Last season, we had a great rookie wide receiver class. Deontay Johnson, with a circus at the quarterback position, ended up leading that rookie class in receptions. With Ben Roethlisberger back, I'm expecting big things and a big year 2 breakout from Deontay Johnson. And then finally, Terry McLaurin, another second-year wide receiver who dominated last year. He only saw 93 targets, but Washington also ran the second fewest offensive plays that we've seen any team run since 2011. There's going to be natural regression there, more volume for that offense, and there's not a lot of competition there. So Terry McLaurin could push the 25, 26, maybe even 27% target share range, making him an awesome value.
Awesome, JJ. Thank you for that. You can follow JJ at Late Round QB on Twitter and, of course, play fantasy football with us. All you have to do is download the FanDuel app or sign up at FanDuel.com. Try out Best Ball for free, and you can do it right now. Let's get to hoops now. FanDuel is also offering a free NBA contest that you cannot miss. Check out the Mountain Dew NBA free play at FanDuel.com/NBA. It's a daily contest that gives out a ton of awesome prizes every single night, with first place getting a seat in a live virtual event with NBA legends Gary Payton and Ray Allen. In addition to that, an entry into that contest automatically gets you into the King of the Mountain 3-point bonus, where you can compete for a share of $15,000. Dave, Pony, and Ed, let's get into this. Not only are you competing in a daily NBA DFS contest for free, but you're also trying to set a lineup that scores the most three-pointers. So, guys, give me an under-the-radar three-point shooter that's going to get hot during the rest of these playoffs. Pony, get us started. Who you got?
Yeah, my favorite's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, because all the focus is going to be on Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Danny Green has gone cold from 3.
I'm going to go with Fred VanVleet. He's averaging 4 3-pointers per game in the playoffs, and his values there, guys like James Harden, are going to be up around $12,000 salary. He's going to be around $7,500, so I'll go with VanVleet.
Centers may be hard to find who shoot a lot of threes. Find someone with a high 3-point shooting rate. Miami's Kelly Olynyk, second most among centers, still playing in the playoff.
Great polls, guys. What a fun contest. The Mountain Dew NBA free play is live right now, and it's free. Just head to FanDuel.com/NBA and enter every day through September 7th for your chance to win cash and all those prizes. That'll do it for us here at More Ways to Win. Thanks for hanging with us from the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. We will be right back here next week to kick off the NFL season.
Joel Embiid is
really unhappy
because the internet keeps using old gifts to react to his highlights. Mountain Dew presents the Joel Deserves Better gift collection.
Now I'm so happy.
Say you want to learn to do that thing. Big things, small things, anything, on anything, anywhere, anyhow, anywhen. Well, as long as when means now. Today's the day.
and Charlie, take it up and win it.
Second, it's Mooney. Powerful victory.
The coronation, watch me as one, for France's Henri Graffard and Pierre-Charles Boudot.
TVG Monday. Labor Day racing includes Del Mar's Grade 1 Run Happy Del Mar Futurity. Scout future stars in this premier stakes event for 2-year-olds. Labor Day Monday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
What up, Broncos fans? Welcome inside the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win, and we are excited to have you with us. I'm your host, Lisa Kearney, along with our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here in-house to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now, and you're ready to take their advice and place your bets right away. It's easy, it's legal, it's fun, so let's get this party started. Guys, they're ready, I'm ready, you're ready. We're starting the show with your Broncos, who kick off their season against the Titans on Monday Night Football. Guys, Denver's giving 1.5 points and one of the closest lines of the week. Dave Weaver, which way are you going on this matchup?
Oh, I'm all in, Lisa, on the Broncos. Tennessee has not traveled into this high altitude very well. The last 3 times they've come to Denver, they've lost by an average of over 17 points, including last year, where they got skunked 16-0. And it was a terrible game for Derrick Henry, who was held to his lowest total of the entire season. I expect more of that from the Denver defense to be able to stop Henry, which was not easy to do towards the end of the year. He got on a roll. But I think if they stuff Henry again, they have no chance to beat the Broncos. Give me Denver.
Yeah, this is an anti-Titans bet for me, Dave. I thought they got red hot last year, and congratulations to Ryan Tannehill. He made himself all that money, but there's no way he does it again. He had the highest passer rating in the NFL last season. Are you kidding me? This is a guy that the Dolphins paid. They actually paid part of his salary to back up Marcus Mariota at the start of last year. So for that reason, I think we see Tannehill come back down to earth, and it starts in week 1 against Denver.
All right, guys, good stuff. Let's stick with the same game here and talk another popular bet at the FanDuel Sportsbook, of course, on the app as well. The total. So will these teams combine to score more than 41.5 points? Andrew Filipponi, coming right back to you. Which way are you going on the Broncos and Titans here?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. Now, I'm not super excited about it. I'm going to pick one, though, and I'm going to believe in this idea that because of no preseason football, because penalties might be up, because the guys are still trying to find themselves, that we see league-wide a lot of unders hit in week 1, and I would include this game on that list.
Well, I like the under as well, but my reasoning is that I think both teams are going to run the ball plenty, so that clock is going to be ticking for most of this game. And Denver's defense, I think, can do what they did last year and just completely shut down Tennessee. So I think 41.5 is too high of a number here. I like the under.
All right, Broncos fans, here's how you cash in with their information. Put down $50 on the Broncos minus 1.5. If they cover, you collect more than $95. Hey, if you like the total bet, they just talked about that. You place $50 on the under, you're going to get a payout of almost $98 on a winning bet. Here's how to find these bets and all the week 1 lines on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's so easy. Click on Football, then 2020 season. You'll see every matchup to kick off the season. All right, let's keep this train rolling, guys. Broncos fans, in addition to placing bets on individual games, you, of course, can also make fun futures bets as well, including if a team will win over or under a certain number of games in the regular season. These are simple bets, easy for anyone to make. So let's get the right take now with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright, formerly with the NFL Network, now the new face of Marquee Sports Network. Cole joining us from Chicago here. Cole, let's talk win total for these Broncos. The FanDuel Sportsbook has the line right now at 7.5. Cole, when you look at Denver's schedule, how many W's do you see?
Well, Lisa, I told you last week that I like this team, and I like them, but they are 1 year away. Now, last year they were 7-9, so let's just do a little transposing of those numbers. Let's flip it around to 9-7. Now, Pat Shurmur, as the new OC, he's going to help Drew Lock get the bugs out on those deep passes downfield. He struggled with passes 20 yards or more when it came to air yards. Now, the veteran back, Melvin Gordon, he has something to prove. And then there's the rookie, Jerry Jeudy. Now, this team, we know they're going to put up points. Plus, they'll keep you off the board with Von Miller and that defense. A season ago, they were number 1 when it came to red zone defense. So 9-7, that works for me. I'm going to tell you where they'll finish in the division just a little bit later in the show. And that's what they call a tease here in this business, Lisa. You already know that, though.
That's because you're a TV professional, Cole. Thank you, Cole. Cole says 9-7, Broncos fans. You can cheer on your team and your wager. Tail Cole. Bet $50 on over 7.5 wins for your team. You're going to collect more than $95 on your wager. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. All right, let's bring in that guy, the one guy that you're taking all of that money from. It's the odds maker himself. John Sheeran sets the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. John, we've talked a lot about the Broncos, but as we know, there are 31 more teams that you can bet on, along with a bunch of different player prop bets as well. What are some overall betting trends that you're seeing as we get closer to week 1 kicking off?
Only somewhat stole my thunder, Lisa. A lot of unders is what I'm seeing across the league. I think there's a decent angle to it. Some sharp bettors I respect of all, taking some unders in plenty of games, actually. The idea that we haven't had a preseason for them to iron out some of those, nuances as we get to the regular season. Add on top of that a COVID lockdown. So I think it's going to be pretty difficult for the teams to be up and running straight away. We've seen that here with the Bronco game, 42.5 down to 41.5, as I said. Still money coming in on the under, minus 115 to the under, and the guys both like it as well. So I think that tells you that this line is likely to drop even further before kickoff, Lisa.
Great insights, Sharon. I always love talking to you. Broncos fans, FanDuel is giving you more bang for your buck with some special bets here. Increased odds are available right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app in a section called Odds Boosts. That simply means you win more money just for making that bet. It's that easy. Weaver, give us the odds boost and why you think it could hit.
Well, will the Broncos make the playoffs? It's very simple. Yes, plus 180. No, we're turning that into plus 210. That is the odds boost for them to make the playoffs. I think they can do it. You look at what they did last year. Late in the year, they won their last 4 home games. I think they could run the table at home this year. And then you look at the way they lost some of the games last year. 3 different games they lost by just 2 points. You flip-flop that, and you might have an 11-5 team this year. They probably aren't going to win the division with Kansas City in there, but I think they could absolutely get a wild card spot. I do like the Broncos to make the playoffs, and right now the odds boost has them at plus 210.
All that plus money, Dave. Great stuff. Hit up the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now and take advantage of this odds boost. Hitting a winning $50 bet on this Broncos odds boost, guys, you collect $155 on your wager. All right, let's stay in the division and get to another AFC West team. The defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, host the Houston Texans in the official Thursday night kickoff of the NFL season. It's September 10th. Guys, it's just days away. So excited here. Kansas City's a 9.5-point favorite. It's the biggest spread of the week. Dave, who you got in this one?
That's a big line on a team, the Houston Texans, that beat the Chiefs last year during the regular season, and they played them close early in the playoffs. They were actually up 24-0 before Patrick Mahomes led that crazy comeback and scored like 50 points in 3 minutes. But I think that the Chiefs are giving way too many points here. And I did a little bit of research here, Pony. I looked up the last 14 times that the Chiefs have been a big favorite, 8.5 points or more. 4-9-1 against the spread. So they are not reliable laying a ton of points. I like Houston.
Well, and they're laying a lot of points to a really good quarterback. And I love, one of my favorite things to do as a football bettor is you're telling me I'm going to get more than a touchdown with a franchise quarterback. Desean Watson is a top 5, top 10 quarterback in this league. You know, he's the guy in this matchup who didn't get paid this offseason. He's kind of a forgotten man, as a matter of fact. No one's taking the Texans because of the DeAndre Hopkins trade this offseason. And I get a quarterback who won a playoff game a year ago, who's proven to be one of the best, and he can lose by a touchdown and still cover. I love Houston.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Broncos fans, I get it. It may pain you to bet on the Chiefs. Maybe you guys are with our experts, but if you want to fade them and the Chiefs giving the points, place a $50 bet. You collect more than $93 on this wager. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app, and this wager is available right now. Let's put some math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros. Ed, joining us from Dallas here, you combed the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You found a couple of lines that you think need to be exposed here. Where did the numbers take us, Ed?
Well, they'll take us to Miami and New England. Yes, the Patriots quarterback situation may be getting a ton of attention, but I want to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is the most dangerous quarterback to bet on because of his volatility. Per Next Gen Stats, Fitzpatrick had the 4th highest aggressive throw percentage at 20.9%, meaning the nearest defender was within a yard of the target. Fitzpatrick has been that way throughout his entire career. Also last year, Fitz finished 7th in intended air yards per pass attempt at 8.9, and if the passing game just simply isn't clicking, that could lead to a lot of interceptions, especially against an opportunistic secondary like the one New England boasts. Cam Newton now at the helm for New England. I expect a conservative game plan for them. Not many points, not many drives. I'm taking the under 43.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here. I'm going to tell you, Ed, I mean, these are two defensive-minded coaches. They know each other so well, Belichick and, of course, his protege, Brian Flores, the Miami coach. Patriots, they released Mohamed Sanu, who I thought was going to be a big part of their offense. We don't know if running back Sony Michel is going to play in this game. He's dinged up. I think the under is a very nice bet.
And Pony, another bet that I think has some good value here. Tom Brady's new team, the Buccaneers, getting 3.5 against the Saints. The question is, what should we expect from this Tampa Bay offense with Tom Brady and not with Jameis Winston? Well, last year, Winston ranked 2nd in football on average intended air yards at 10.5. Leads to a lot of deep completions, but also a lot of interceptions. Winston was 3rd in bad throw percentage at 20.6%. For Tom Brady, with, safe to say, a less formidable receiving core, he was 28th in average intended air yards at 7.6. And yet, Brady's bad throw percentage still high, 4th worst to be exact, and right at the same mark at 20.6%. I think Tampa Bay's offense is going to struggle a little bit more in the early going than when they had Jameis Winston, and I think the Saints cover the spread.
I'm going to fade you because I disagree that they can't put up points against the Saints. The good news for the Bucs is the Saints' Week 1 defense over the years has been terrible. They need a few weeks to figure things out based on the history of the last 6 seasons. They have not covered once in any of those games, so I think they come out a little bit slow defensively, which means the Bucs can score enough points to cover.
And, of course, Leonard Fournette just joining that Bucs team as well. Guys, great stuff. If you want to fade Ed, tail Dave, you think the Bucs can cover the 3.5 they're getting. Bet $50 on Tom and all of his new teammates. You'll get almost $98 on a winning bet. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. All right, now's our favorite time of the show. We time to turn things up, get a little nuts with our More Ways Wildest Wagers of the Week. Guys, dig into your bag of tricks and throw it all out there. Dave, you first. What's your wildest wager of the week?
Oh, I love getting wild. We're going to do it by going to what's called Name the Finalists. It's picking who's going to be in the Super Bowl. You have to pick both teams, though. The favorite is the Chiefs and the 49ers. That's only 20-1. No, we're going to do something crazy here. I like the Chiefs, but they are going to be playing the Atlanta Falcons in this year's Super Bowl. This is what I call the ice cold exacta. Boom, boom. Chiefs, Falcons, 80-1, Pony.
Did you consult that little homemade chart for that one, Dave? Did you have to pull out your paperwork to make that pick? Good gracious. With that one. Look, this is a wild one, too. I like Doug Marrone, believe it or not, as a candidate to win the NFL Coach of the Year award. Every year, a team goes from worst to first. I think the AFC South, of the quarterbacks in that division, Rivers, Tannehill, Watson, and Minshew, I think Minshew actually has the greatest chance to take a big jump in 2020. So with that in mind, very low bar. If Jacksonville wins like 9 games, I think Marrone can win it, and at 50-1, it's worth a shot.
Well, I'm looking at my list right here, Pony, and guess what? The Falcons are going to be 11-5, so they're a Super Bowl team. Oh, the Jags are 2-14 though this year, so I don't like that bet. Sorry.
You know what I like, guys? I wrote down some of my own notes. Boom, boom, and a good gracious from both of you. I dig it. I call that winning. Those bets were wild, and you guys know how much I love it. See if you guys at home are with our guys on their long shots and all their quirky lines. Check out those bets and much more on the FanDuel Sportsbook app today for an awesome return on your investment. All right, time now to get the right take as we get ready for week one. So let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright, standing by. Cole, one of the bets that you can make at the FanDuel Sportsbook is where a team will finish in the division. The odds for the Broncos are on your screen right here. Where do you think Denver ends up in the AFC West?
Well, I'm not going to drop a boom boom or a good gracious on you, but I do see this Drew Lock-led team going 9-7, as I said just a little bit ago. But what place? That's the big question. I see him sliding into third in the division. Now, KC, as we know, they're going to KC. Lisa, you're a big Kansas City fan. And when it comes to the Raiders, they have a new house. So what are they going to want to do? They're going to want to impress each and every single week. Now, I see Vic Fangio's club starting off hot, 3-1 over the first 4 weeks. And then they're going to finish the back half of the schedule pretty strong. They're going to get wins in the last 3 weeks of the season over Buffalo, Carolina, and Las Vegas to wrap things up. It's just the middle of the schedule. It looks like a briar patch for this Broncos team. I see them finishing in third place in 2020. But the good news is you don't have to worry because there's always next year, Denver fans.
That's right. There's always next year, Denver fans. And yes, Cole, I am a Kansas City girl. Born and raised on all that barbecue. Not sorry. Guys, as we move on, if you guys tail Cole, Broncos fans, bet $50 on the Broncos to finish third in the division, and you collect more than $127 on a winning $50 bet. So you've got that going for you, Denver. Easy, legal, live, and tons of fun with us. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account? What are you guys waiting for? If you sign up right now, FanDuel is sweetening the pot. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Yep. Just download the app, sign up for an account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000 right there on your screen. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel is going to refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So let's party, let's turn it up, and let's make some money. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. Let's make our viewers a whole lot of money here. Give me a player prop bet that you're hammering. That's going to lead to a big payout. Dave, what you got?
We're going to take a look at a season-long player prop here that involves Julio Jones, one of the great receivers in the league. But I don't think he's really the reason that the Atlanta Falcons are going to the Super Bowl. I think Calvin Ridley has a breakout year this year. They got Todd Gurley in the backfield, so I think Julio doesn't have to do as much. 1,349.5 yards doesn't seem like a lot, but he finally dipped under 1,400 for the first time in 5 seasons. I think he regresses just a little bit more this year because Ridley takes over some of those yards. I'll take the under $1,000, and I'll get back close to 1,900.
Well, I like a dark horse to be the recipient of Tom Brady's first touchdown pass in Tampa Bay, and that is a slot receiver by the name of Desean Watson. Going into his second year, this is a guy from Penn, under the radar, who is a slot receiver maven, and we know Brady loves the Julian Edelman, Wes Welker types. This guy at 16-1 to catch that first touchdown pass, risk-free, $1,000, collects $17,000. He is a serious sleeper to do it.
That's insane, and I love it. Here's a season-long prop bet for you. Matt Stafford, way over 4,049.5 passing yards. NFC North will be the most competitive division in all of football. Every quarterback will be asked to pass more. Stafford finished last season 8th in EPA CPOE composite, and his top 3 receivers, all of their deals expire at the end of the season. They all want to get fed. Stafford wants to get a lot of yards, score a bunch of points. That $1,000 risk-free bet will score me $1,892.
I love that Desean Watson bet, going back to Pony there. Bruce Arians is so high on this guy. He's lost 10 pounds, said, I think he hit 21 miles per hour on the field, and that is absolutely flying. This odds 16-1. Great pick there for Desean Watson, and high expectations for Stafford as well this year. Top fantasy quarterback as well. We're going to get into fantasy in just a moment, but guys, sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account with the promo code MOREWAYS1000. Get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. Take their advice. Place your bets now. It's easy, legal, live. It's fun. Take your winnings if you hit. Get your money back if you don't. It is that easy. All right, good stuff, guys. John Sheeran, they're placing those bets risk-free. And there's a bet that's the hottest one at the sportsbook right now. It's the one line that everybody is betting on. Which one is it?
I can't really even give you one in Colorado, Lisa. Everybody's obsessed with these Broncos. They won 2 games at the end of the last year with Drew Lock. Everybody expects a big improvement from them this year. Everywhere I look, I'm seeing liabilities on the Broncos having a good year. Ratio of about 5-1 for over on their regular season wins. An absolute avalanche of cash at plus 180 for them to make the playoffs. And we even have an odds boost on that market as well, I think, which is plus 210. That's taken an absolute steam. So everybody in Colorado expecting a real solid year for the Broncos, Lisa. Anything to do with them is a real big mover for me.
Great stuff, John. Thank you. Broncos fans, if you want to bet on your hometown team or your favorite player, then let's do it. There are tons of Broncos bets available at the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. You can do it right from your phone. Let's take a closer look at which lines give bettors the best value. I want to bring in our betting experts to give us their best Broncos wager on the board right now. Dave, get us started. Sheeran said these bettors are high on their Broncos.
And I am as well. I'm going to piggyback on a philosophy that Pony had a little bit earlier in taking a head coach to win Coach of the Year that has a team that really isn't expected to do much. But instead of Jacksonville, who's 2-14, I'm going to take a team that actually will make the playoffs. I mean, if Vic Fangio can get the Broncos to be 11-5 or even 10-6 with no offensive superstar, I think he will get a ton of votes and get a lot of credit for taking the Broncos to the playoffs with this team. And he's 24-1 to win that award. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, this is great for Colorado bettors. All 16 game lines are there for the Broncos on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And I want to get on Tampa Bay right now. For week 3, only a 1-point favorite. When Denver gets beat by the Steelers in week 2 at Heinz Field, I could see that line going up. So steal the value now.
Something I heard earlier in the show, and I need to correct you guys because it's really grinding my gears. I know there are a few overs I really like in week 1, but Denver, Tennessee over 41.5, I love that one. Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback. He led an EPA CPOE composite for much of the second half of the season. Drew Lock, I know there's not much intel on him, but he's got Cortland Sutton. He's got Jerry Jeudy. That is a great start with your receiving corps.
All right, great stuff from you guys as well. So check out those bets and all the other Broncos wagers available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. One of the teams, of course, hoping to make it to the Super Bowl every year is the New England Patriots, even with a new quarterback. Cam Newton fighting for that starting job, but played only 2 games last year, had surgery on his left foot, also had those 2 shoulder surgeries as well. So the question hangs in the balance here. What can we expect from Cam in New England? Pro Football Doc David Chow tells us how those injuries could impact Newton this season.
Well, I can understand the concern over Cam Newton. He's your starting quarterback, and he hasn't finished the last 2 seasons with injuries, with a total of 3 surgeries. 2 on his throwing shoulder, and then last December's foot injury that required surgery. I think the throwing shoulder is behind him. Is he going to play till he's 43 like Tom Brady? Probably not, but he should be healthy for this season. And as far as his foot is concerned, I think it was a mild Lisfranc injury, which is why surgery got put off until December, which is why I think he'll be ready for September, week 1 for the Patriots. And I look for Bill Belichick to use him very creatively in several different ways.
All right, Doc, thank you. Now let's take a couple minutes to talk about the Super Bowl of horse racing. The Kentucky Derby runs on Saturday, and the intensity is growing for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Dave, horses are your wheelhouse. Let's get you back in here. Give us your pick and let our viewers know about the risk-free bet available right now for this race coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, typically the Kentucky Derby is the first Saturday in May. This year, it's the first Saturday in September. You can catch it on NBC at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And you can also make a risk-free bet up to $200 by downloading the TVG app. Who are you going to bet on? I'm going to go with the long shot named King Guillermo. This is the winner of the Tampa Bay Derby. He's owned by Victor Martinez, a guy that played baseball for 16 years and had a real passion for Major League Baseball. But now he owns thoroughbreds, and he's got a 20-1 shot in this year's Kentucky Derby. So a $200 risk-free bet would get you nearly $4,000 in profit. The horse that everybody has to beat is named Tiz the Law. He has dominated his competition this year, but he's going to be too short of a price, so I'm going to go with King Guillermo.
Great stuff, Dave. Ice cold exacto right there. You can follow him on Twitter as well. Thank you, Dave. If you want to tail Dave, or hey, we get it. Go rogue and fade our expert. You do you. You can do it right now. Download the TVG app. Sign up for an account. Place your risk-free $200 bet today and enjoy the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Time to fill you in on a new and free season-long fantasy football game available right now on FanDuel.com. It's called Best Ball, and it is so simple and easy to play. All you have to do is draft your team. It's a snake draft format. After that, FanDuel does all the work. I told you it was easy. FanDuel will calculate your top scoring players for the week, and boom, that becomes your starting lineup, and it gets even better. FanDuel editor-in-chief JJ Zacharyson gives you his top 3 best ball values right now.
One value that I like a lot in best ball leagues over on FanDuel is Zack Moss, who's being drafted 107th overall on average. Now, he's going to be sharing a backfield with Devin Singletary, but Zack Moss is the bigger-bodied running back between the two players. Devin Singletary only had 2 goal line rushes last year, so I think Zack Moss could take on that role. And the best part is you don't have to choose which running back is going to go off in a given week in a best ball format. It's going to choose for you. That's why I like Zack Moss on a run-heavy team. There's also Deontay Johnson, who I like a lot, who's just going a little bit ahead of where Zack Moss is being drafted. Last season, we had a great rookie wide receiver class. Deontay Johnson, with a circus at the quarterback position, ended up leading that rookie class in receptions. With Ben Roethlisberger back, I'm expecting big things and a big year 2 breakout from Deontay Johnson. And then finally, Terry McLaurin, another second-year wide receiver who dominated last year. He only saw 93 targets, but Washington also ran the second fewest offensive plays that we've seen any team run since 2011. There's going to be natural regression there, more volume for that offense, and there's not a lot of competition there. So Terry McLaurin could push the 25, 26, maybe even 27% target share range, making him an awesome value.
You can follow JJ on Twitter at LateRoundQB. And, of course, play fantasy with us. Thank you, JJ, for that. It's easy. All you have to do is download the FanDuel app or sign up at FanDuel.com and try out Best Ball for free. And you can do it right now. Let's get to hoops right now as well. FanDuel is also offering a free NBA contest that you absolutely cannot miss. Check out the Mountain Dew NBA free play at FanDuel.com/NBA. It's a daily contest that gives out a ton of awesome prizes every night, with first place getting a seat in a live virtual event with NBA legends Gary Payton and Ray Allen. And in addition to that, an entry into that contest automatically gets you into the King of the Mountain 3-point bonus, where you can compete for a share of $15,000. Dave, Pony, and Ed, let's do this thing. Not only are you competing in a daily NBA DFS contest for free, but you're also trying to set a lineup that scores the most 3-pointers. So, guys, dig in here. Give me an under-the-radar 3-point shooter that's going to go absolutely crazy the rest of the way in these playoffs. And, Pony, I'm coming to you first.
I'm going to take Kentavious Caldwell-Pope from the Lakers. Danny Green has gone cold, so he is now the guy that sits at the 3-point line and gets the feeds from Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
I'm going to go with Fred VanVleet. 4 3-pointers per game in the playoffs, and he usually prices out pretty cheap, so he's good value for me.
Miami is going to face a really hot Milwaukee shooting team at some point this series. Pretty much everybody has to shoot a 3 for Miami. Why not go with the center? Because you got to get one. Kelly Olynyk with the Heat.
There you go. Great stuff, guys. What a fun contest as well. The Mountain Dew NBA free play is live right now. And oh, by the way, it is free. Just head to FanDuel.com/NBA and enter every day through September 7th for your chance to win cash and prizes. And that'll do it for us here at More Ways to Win. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll be right back here at the FanDuel Sportsbook to kick off the NFL season next week.
Joel Embiid is
like really unhappy
because the internet keeps using old gifts to react to his highlights. Mountain Dew presents the Joel Deserves Better gift collection.
Now I'm so happy.
TVG Monday, Del Mar's closing day. 2-year-olds go a mile on the grass in the Del Mar Juvenile Turf. Labor Day excitement that can't be beat. Join us Monday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
FanDuel's new Best Ball Leagues make it easy to play season-long fantasy. Draft once and FanDuel will optimize your lineup each week. But to make it even easier...
What's up, Jeff?
We hired head coach Jeff Fisher to help Tony on game days.
I've studied the matchups, I've adjusted for bye weeks and injuries, and I'm making paella. But I'm allergic to shellfish. You know I can't make it without shrimp. Thank you, Jeff. You're doing a great job.
FanDuel's Best Ball. There's no easier way to play season-long fantasy. Leagues start at $1, and new users get a 20% bonus on your first deposit.
Do you want to bet the Derby and don't have a TVG account? Get the TVG mobile app and sign up now. You have a jockey that rides a horse. When you bet the horse that wins, you win money too. With the TVG app, select your horse, bet type, and wager amount. Place your bet and watch the race live. Download the app and sign up now. Or go to TVG.com. Join now and get a risk-free bet up to $200. TVG, your best bet.
TVG Sunday. 3-year-olds at a mile and an eighth in the Grade 2 Del Mar Derby. Heated summer action as cool as ever on the Del Mar Jimmy Durante Turf Course. Play Sunday. Del Mar, first post, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.